Hello and welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. Now, the Transformer TCG fans, this is Paint 3D, and this is a part of one of my Unicron parts. And let's bring the file over. And we have this one kind of upgraded like this. It looks a whole lot better. I thought about just, saving things for everything when I got him completed. But I am kind of a person that likes showing the process. So if that sort of pops the balloon of anxiety of, ooh, cool, I can't wait until he's done, well, I guess it's maybe popping that balloon to some extent. But, look and see, you can see how it used to look here. And that was nothing but marker. And this is now everything in the computer. And this is the card. This is going to be the actual card because there's the symbol. And this is the other half, or the back half, of what... Is it going to be that part? Yes, it actually is. Now, I haven't recolored these yet. So you got, if you remember, there's bottom right, bottom left, there's the bottom middle. And then you have to get these parts into the game, Unicron, Universal Dominator. And you have cards like Grab a Part, to where you can pull in one of those parts of Unicron, and it is a blank card to be able to do so. And if you remember, this has been a while since we've looked at this. Trying to straighten the camera a bit. I got a couple of characters here. 5-star Cyclonus, a 5-star Galvatron, a Ghost of Starscream, and a Scourge. And at a certain point, you will have the option to bring one of these guys in. Minion to Chaos. I think they're all minions. Yeah, minion to Chaos. Or thus the Chaos Bringer Unicron. So it's a different way of doing Unicron. It's not the ARCs version that Jamie had done. I want to say he drew that. It's been a long time since we've heard anything from him or seen him on YouTube. But so there's that, and then you have the top part of Unicron, which is the left horn, the maw. Come on. And it's not Star Wars, it's Unicron. And the right horn. And these are the top cards that start on the team, or on the Unicron team, so to speak. And then the three bottom parts, I originally thought about doing nine parts to it. I'm thinking, boy, that might be too much, and I didn't want to draw that much either when I was drawing this guy. And I drew it all in one piece and took pictures of it with my phone. This is not my phone, but using my phone and going click, 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 all around the image to be able to put it in here. So it might look okay, and I may just leave it like this. So, and as you can see, let's go back to what I've been working on, which is this one right here. Now, if you notice, this part right here is only half of it. That's because I had to take a picture of this. This was before I was still using Magic Set Editor, but I wasn't using Paint 3D yet. So now with Paint 3D, I can recreate this, and I've already got it kind of in the wings, and then I can take it out like a sticker, cut it in half like I need to, and put it, half on this card on half on the other, and it's going to look a whole lot better. I think it should look a whole lot better. Now, so here's this piece, and here's the same piece. Already, this is looking just so much better. Now, the only problem is that with this part here, and then my new part here, you can see where I kind of purposely, I can't make this any bigger, where it's you have this yellow part here, you got some shade, you got some highlight, And then right in here is where like some of the original marker is coming through. And I thought it looked kind of cool, and so I left it that way. The space in the background, I kind of darkened it and blackened it up some, but then I kind of left it a little bit scratchy. But then when we go to this part here, I figured out how to do kind of, oh gosh, that almost looks like Star Trek Enterprise. That was unintentional. Tried to throw in like a little galaxy or something, and I kind of splashed that in with the crayon look. Because you can pick crayon and go, ooh, well, let's see, I don't even have color. Do something like that. Or I mean, I'm not going to leave that there. But the part of this is that now, if you look at what I did here, where's my original? Bought part 1. No, this is 3. This is the right bottom side. So, here's the kind of half pencil, half marker, is that I stopped drawing here. And I didn't go much beyond that. This is sort of this bulb here popping out, and I have one here. And I was going by I think I was recording when I should have been paused or whatever. But you can see where it on these Titan cards, it fades in, and so you don't really get to see much behind this part here. And this is what I'm going to be making a sticker of, and getting this cut back out and putting it back over here and having it, cut about right in half to where hopefully it's still legible, like we had it before. Okay, so you can kind of see how I piecemealed this together. For a time, I considered spelling you wretched little. Anyway, but because of this, you can see where I didn't color or draw the entire Unicron here, and I'm actually having to do that now. And I don't know how much is going to go behind this. It may just stop kind of like this. It depends on how big I make this, or how big it needs to be for when you finally getting combined. And I've changed this 50 to 45. I think if I remember my testing, I think 50 was just too much. Even though you're not going to be able to put any upgrades on him when he is in bot mode. If all the upgrades on him on his planet mode parts get scrapped, and you're going to be able to repair him by 1 for each upgrade scrapped, if I remember correctly. So you'll get to get a nice repair when he amount in total when he is you're finally able to flip him to bot mode, and like you can just let's see here. Excuse me. I don't know if this is gonna. Good crikey! I can't. It's not gonna do it. But yeah, you can just see it right over here. It says this can't flip. So once you get pull in, and there's a trigger with the maw that when you flip the maw, the top 3 parts can they flip? I think they can. Where's a horn? You may flip to bot mode only when all parts of Unicron are in the battlefield. Okay, so no. Even the top 3, my top 3 cards, planet cards, you're not going to be able to flip those. They don't flip. So he's not really much of a flipping character. So cards like Rapid Conversion and Escape Routes, forget them if you're trying to play my Unicron, or even from the sounds of it, maybe even the Arcs Unicron. I think that's whose Unicron I have. I can't remember. But so what I'm getting to is I brought in a picture of this card, and you can kind of see it down here, and I was using it for color, kind of like a palette, to make sure my colors were all about the uniform. And I'm going to have to cover it up because I may actually under this part maybe start to draw one of the legs, but as you can see, there is a small issue. I've added a lot of neat detail on him that's not on this side at all. So I might need to go in and add a little bit of detail over here for the heck of it. Now I think I kept it. Yeah, I didn't put any here on the yellow part, but on the orange part, you know, I put some detail. And I gave him some white fingernails so he's fine going downtown by himself, so nobody will steal his handbag. No, I'm just kidding. But so I think once this guy gets finished, it's going to be impressive looking. But as you know, we're going through base cards. We're going to be finishing up base cards. But because we have, you know, artwork here, new artwork, and it's of a character that is so favored and so feared all at the same time. So cool, and from a movie that traumatized apparently lots of kids, and well, not me, but you know, I was like 13 or 14 when or 15 when the movie came out. So I'm like, I was only mad they killed off Ironhide, you know. And I've said that on Facebook many times. You know, I knew Optimus was going to die because I bought the cassette soundtrack. It was like track 5 or 6. No, let's see here. Okay, number 1 was The Touch. 2 was Instruments of Destruction. Maybe 3. Maybe it was track 3. It was the death of Optimus Prime. And so, boom, that was like where I knew it's like, oh man, he's going to die. So I knew ahead of time. I knew ahead of time that Prime was going to die. So that was not a big deal. And the more I watched that movie, the more, and I've even helped explain this to people on Facebook as well, is how, I'm on the crayon, is around 30% is great for showing some, giving it a little highlight with a little white, mixing it just so, especially when you're doing something as cartoony as this, and that's about all I can do. But you know, there's that. But yeah, I just really enjoyed the movie, but at the same time, I didn't really have a problem with it. We had a few similar cartoon movies. They weren't made for kids though, like Watership Down, based off the book. Cool. Oh, what was that? One of the first movies Brad Pitt was ever in, making out with a cartoon girl. Cool World. That's right. And of course, you know, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, you know, from Disney, which was neat and fun, and a lot of backstory on how it was made and everything. But was it really for kids, or was it not? There's a lot of innuendo there, especially with the weasels and whatnot, and Eddie's depression because his brother had died and killed by a piano from a tune and all that. So while it sounds funny, it is pretty depressing if you think too much on it. So it's best not to, you know, dwell too much on fake movie stuff anyway, because we know it's fake. Whether it's that was it Artress, the horse and Never-Ending Story. I didn't have a problem with that either, but my mother-in-law apparently did. So, you know, things like that. But yeah, that's really all I have. I was just going to thought I'd show y'all kind of what I'm doing a little bit. And you know, once you kind of get this in here, you can go ahead and go boop, but just remember to go full opacity, cover it in, and it should be okay. You can always come back and go back with the black and make things look a little smoother. So I don't bore y'all with my artwork, which is not that great. It's just fun. It's cartoony. It kind of looks like something from the 80s, which is kind of what I'm going for. And a lot of people like it. Some people don't. Some people recognize my style now for whatever style that is. I guess it's just cartoony. I've always had a cartoony style because I understand this stuff isn't real. It's just a cartoon. And while I think that's why I kind of like Beast Wars so much, because it still had a feel of real. Oh, let me get some of my blues out of this before I lose them. Just stick this right there, just so, because I'm about to go over this leg, or this is the right hip. This is his right hip. This is his left hip up here. And again, you know, I may make this all look kind of cool and have a lot of detail on it, and you put it on the Magic Set Editor template, and I'm going to lose a lot of stuff. You know, you just never know what you're going to lose. And there's a lot of neat details in my boat characters, sailboat characters, and motorboat characters that got lost going behind the template. That was another reason why I'm like, wow, I'm doing a really good job on this. And it shocked me to the core how well I was actually drawing to some extent. I'm like, so I wanted to share the artwork with y'all, at least, before you did see the final product, because the artwork itself for those characters like Warfish and Teak and whoever, etc., and you know, Lieutenant Shredhead, Lophius, etc., are just so cool looking. And I was just like, I did this. I'm like, I shot myself, Captain, kind of stuff. So with that, I'll let y'all go, but I got stuff to do anyway. But just working on Unicron, guys. Still working on base cards. I got some other random battle cards coming out too. Hopefully, if y'all haven't already gotten a part of Arc Exodus, in their tournament and their games coming up, I would suggest doing so if y'all are part of the TCG. If not, I hope you're enjoying the artwork, and you want to give me any tips, give me some tips. I don't care. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have gotten this far without tips from my viewers from 2 to 3, 4 years ago. I would not be here. Someone suggested Paint 3D because I was doing everything by hand, including my templates. Someone suggested the Magic Set Editor. I got the Magic Set Editor. I got Paint 3D. I wouldn't be here without y'all's help. I would, if it wasn't for Matthew Sweard on the custom page, getting some of this text down, I wouldn't feel right about the triggers, whether the word is win, where the word while, and how triggers are kind of sort of written, and the cards and terms that are written, and what are reminders and what's not reminders, and what makes a faction card, etc. So that's why I was going through all those Beast War cards like I did. I missed 2 apparently in that one set. I got more Beast, and even then those were not all Beast War cards. Polarities comes from the '86 movie. So it's just a lot of stuff. It is a lot of stuff. Just woohoo! Wipe out a part of Unicron here. And it's just been fun. It really has been fun, guys. And it's just been fun sharing this with y'all. I'm not really trying to gloat or anything. I just excited to do this. It's fun. I find it fun. I find this relaxing. I'm kind of at home by myself right now. My mother picked up my son from school, almost at work, from school, and he's at his music lesson, because I'm at home without a car, because we only have one car now. Yeah. Ooh, it's the same color. Yay. Almost. That really looks, yeah, it's a little darker. But yeah, so I'm just not sitting here talking about Transformer stuff, which, hey, if you find that fun, hey, I'm with it too. But yeah, I'll call it quits so I don't bore y'all to death. And we'll see you next time. We'll see you next time. Hopefully that more of Unicron will have been, it doesn't look too bad. I might need to put another light. No. I want it black, but let's do about this. Let's see what this does. Ooh, yeah, that's what I want. And grab the color, full opacity, and boom. So with that, we'll see you next time. I'm just chilling and actually doing some art for a change. And I'm actually doing it on the computer. Not just coloring, but like I said, I'm going to be drawing part of his leg here, which we may not even get to see in the final on the final card itself. And actually, here's a good tip that I've just learned myself. You want stars? Do about a 2-point or a 1-point. You want to have some of your stars, I guess that's a shooting star now. Give it a little more depth. Use another color other than white. And it's go 2-point with yellow, not 3. It's too big. Ooh, there we go. And just start. Whoop, that was a little. And next thing you know, just add a couple of random dots for some color, and you have a starry background. Let's add just a little bit of red here and there. Ooh, I'm liking that. I'm not exactly saying this is what the Hubble telescope is picking up. Supposedly it's not even colorized. They color it fully colorized. They colorize it. NASA colorizes those shots, supposedly. That too much? That look okay? So with that, we'll see you next time. And it's a starry, starry night, and Unicron is on the horizon. And as always, throw scraplets at the like button. We'll see you next time, as always.
For a time, I considered spelling your wretched little planet Cybertron, but now you shall witness its dismemberment.